Hello, I'm Victor. Have you ever seen a celebrity that even celebrities admire? Before he attempted suicide, that person was me. I will tell you every detail step by step. Just bide your time. How much do you love soccer? Do you love it enough to spend most of your time on the bench, or enough to sacrifice your own life for the survival of the club? On January 30, 2010, Real Madrid take on the dreaded Riazor away. No joke. They haven't won against Deportivo in La Coruña for 18 years. Maybe the new signings didn't understand the importance of this game, but he was well aware of it. This was his last chance, the last trip. Next year, he would exchange the white jersey for another black and white one. Raúl and his last chance. Perez was building a new Galacticos team. That's why this matter couldn't be postponed. Today it would all end. José María Guterres, or Guti for short, would make his last contribution to Madrid. 10-year-old José adapted very quickly to the capital. His new friends Álvaro and Raúl didn't let him get bored in the new city. Almost 30 years later, they don't forget each other. Raúl would be the president of the team. I would be the head coach. These dreams would accompany Raúl and Guti for years to come. The day would come when they would become icons of Los Merengones and pave the way for young people. The 1995-96 season started hard for the dream. If there were no new signings, I would leave the canteranos on the field. Head coach Jorge Valdana was adamant. Raúl, who had been in the main team a season ago, had left no room for doubt at the level of the young canteranos. As a result, Álvaro and Guti were included in the main squad from the new season. On December 2, 1995, Real hosted Sevilla at home. It was the day of the young talents in Madrid. 19-year-old Álvaro Benito scored the first goal and 18-year-old Raúl González the second. And finally, in the 61st minute of the match, Amavisca was replaced by Guti. The player makes his La Liga debut in a Madrid shirt. After the game was all square, the president of the team, Lorenzo Sanz, proudly said, "As long as we have young talents like Álvaro and Guti in the team, Madrid lives." Valdano, Capello, Hiddink, Huijkens, every coach who ever coached Real Madrid talked about Guti's leadership ability, his charisma, and said that if he worked on himself properly, he could become a legend of the team and a genius player. As for charisma, it is possible to dwell on it a little too much. Now 47 years old, even Guti's face does not lack the features of a small child. Fabio Capello said about Guti that Guti is a really great player, but he stops himself from being a genius. Like any talented footballer, Guti was quick-tempered and was shown unnecessary cards. The outspoken, witty and witty player, who was not afraid of anyone, could not give up his addiction on the pitch. However, it was not only his character that prevented him from reaching the Everest of footballing art, but also the injuries that accompanied him throughout his career. An interesting fact should be noted. Guti loved tattooing. He is perhaps one of the footballers with the most tattoos on his body. It's worth mentioning in more detail the image of an angel and the inscription 666 on his left arm. Perhaps nothing sums up this footballer's career better than this tattoo. Angel or devil? Divine tax, incredibly precise passing, 5 La Liga and 3 Champions Leagues, fan favorite, father of 3, great son. These are all characteristics of Guti the Angel. The footballer returns to his hometown of Torrexon whenever he can, visits his childhood friends, remembers his alma mater and his former teacher, meets his childhood friends, and even remembers the shopkeeper where he bought his first pair of sneakers. Speaking of friends, do you remember Álvaro playing soccer with Guti? Injuries prevented him from becoming a soccer player. But now the Spanish rock scene is unimaginable without the rock band Pig Noise, in which Álvaro played an important role. Guti often comes to his friends' concerts and enjoys his songs. And the demon? The devil has not let Guti go throughout his career. We mentioned that Guti won the Champions League 3 times, but did you know that the footballer didn't play in any of those matches? Guti also had his own hell. In 542 appearances for Real, he played an average of 60 minutes. The reason for this was the bench. the footballer was rightly nicknamed the 12th player. At this point, it is appropriate to go back to the 1999-2000 and 2000 season. The new head coach, Vicente Del Bosque, started to give more chances to the player he had known since childhood. Guti enjoyed playing under the guidance of his favorite coach. The injury did not allow the player to wear the jersey he deserved in the final. Real put 3 balls through Valencia's gate, and Guti watched from the stands. When I heard the final whistle, I felt the happiest person in the world, but I remembered the players who deserved this day and who didn't play because of injury. Alvaro and Guti deserve to be here today. Vicente Del Bosque. Spanish journalist Miguel Torres had this to say about Guti: his left leg is an extension of his heart. Indeed, after the departure of Fernando Redondo, it was expected that Guti would replace him and that another legendary left-hander would light up the Santiago Bernabeu. But Perez's desire to collect the Galacticos has dashed those hopes. Guti started the 2000-2001 season as a striker. Before his injury in the Malaga game, he put in an incredible performance, scoring 18 goals and 15 assists, among the best in the team. Even though he played as a striker, such a clever player who wanted to shock the opposition with his beautiful passes whenever he had the chance, he became a nightmare for opposing teams. Injuries to his heart, his left leg, never stopped torturing him. Some fans even said that Guti was simulating on purpose. As soon as the player got off the operating table, he returned to help the home team. But the following season he didn't find himself in the main team. The arrival of the big-toothed Ronaldo sent him back to hell on the bench. Guti summarized this period by saying that when I played as a centre-right, they bought Zidane, and when I started playing as a striker, they bought Ronaldo. But the misfortunes of Guti, who won championship after championship in his club career, did not end there. The devil also accompanied him in the Spanish national team. Do you think it's normal for a footballer of Guti's level and football intelligence to play only 14 games at home? Guti has never played in the World or European Championships in his career. He was never taken there. In Madrid, the situation was changing. Guti, wearing the captain's armband in Raúl's absence, was not afraid of the world stars around him. Veterans like Zidane, Figo, Beckham and Ronaldo took control of the game on the pitch and continued to lead. As the Galacticos era came to an end, Guti returned to the position of the local playmaker and gave the fans a visual feast with his beautiful passes. In the team's 6th season, 2007, the footballer took on the leadership role alongside David Beckham and played an incredible role in the team's championship. On September 14, 2008, Real hosted Numancia on their home court. The match ended with 4 3-pointers for the hosts, but the most important thing was not the result, but an incident that happened during the match. Guti scored Real Madrid's 5,000th goal in La Liga history. Here too, he didn't let Raúl go too far. By scoring the 5,000th goal in the club's history, Guti became the joint record holder for the title of the Golden Boy of Spanish football. The fans loved Guti too. How can you not love a footballer who gives his life for his team on the pitch, a canterano who is always loyal to the team? The scary baby, nicknamed Maestro by the fans, who is afraid of nobody and nothing, who takes more spiritual pleasure in passing the ball than in scoring a goal, who is unlucky but happy, who can scare the fans one by one and the next time he loses his temper and leaves the team in a difficult situation. Madrid fans also had a saying that 1 game with Guti was better than 10 without Guti. We didn't call Guti an artist for nothing. Every pass was a work of art. You can write about Guti's assists on social media. You can enjoy his masterful passes for hours, but the real picture was still ahead. Years will pass, but this transfer will always be remembered. What could be missing from the player who won everything in his club career? La Coruna, an unconquered summit. Yes, let's go back to the beginning of the Riazor speech. God's heel Raúl and Guti visit Riazor for the last time. Deportivo wanted to send Real back home after defeating Hajduk in the UEFA Cup. Even Granero's goal at the start of the match didn't affect the morale of the home team, but something extraordinary, a magic, an incredible act, a spark could tear this team apart. In the 40th minute, the trio of Kaká, Guti and Benzema caught Deportivo on the counter-attack. The Brazilian's pass brings Guti one-on-one with the goalkeeper. With one shot, the score would have been 2-0. Guti looks at the goalkeeper and a magnificent rust that is incredibly unpredictable, but retains its beauty and impact. Guti passes with his heel to Benzema and the Frenchman puts the second ball through Galicia's goal. It was impossible to recover after such a goal. The mission was accomplished. Guti could easily go on vacation to Turkey. İnka Demirspor started the season with technical director Metin Yildiz, and the Blue Lightning entered the season with a brand new squad. He failed in the tier and classification groups and remained in second place. Mehmet Gökoğlu, who decided to leave office when success did not come, handed over the presidency to Bekir Çınar. And with that, the history of the most legendary soccer president began. After 2 consecutive lost finals and an unsuccessful season, the team started to experience difficult economic times. Despite being in a troubled period, Adana Demirspor, which advanced to the first round of the playoffs under the management of Hüseyin Özkan with its youth-dominated squad, lost to Tavşanlı Linyurtspor on penalties. President Bekir Çınar did everything he could to save the team from the economic crisis. The team could be expelled from the leagues due to payment problems. Bekir Çınar, who was sinking in debt and had no income, was making a great sacrifice to keep the team he was in love with afloat, taking all debts on himself. Bekir Çınar, who took the burden of years on his shoulders alone, was going door to door and asking for support while organizing donation campaigns, but it was futile. Demirspor gets no other help from fans. He was being left alone. Bekir Çınar, who prevented the expulsion from the leagues by taking the club's debt on himself with his personal efforts, ends his 1-year presidential career on July 2, 2010. Çınar, who invested all his assets in the club during his presidency and borrowed money from loan sharks to prevent the club from going bankrupt, put his heart on the line where money was not enough. Bekir Çınar, who spent 4 million TL out of his own pocket and therefore owed money lenders, had nothing left to give to Adana Demirspor except his life. Bekir Çınar, who made all kinds of sacrifices for the love of Adana Demirspor, committed suicide on August 16, 2010. He ended his life by hanging himself with blue navy blue rope.
İş adamlarımıza çok büyük sitemlerimi gönderiyorum. Bunlar benim belki boyumu aşan laflar, haddimi de aşıyorum ama bir camiayı temsil ediyorum. Bir Samet kadar olamadım. O Samet'in yüreği kadar, küçük kumbarası kadar olamadım. Yazık diyorum, başka bir şey demiyorum. Yılıp yılmayacağımıza şu 2 gün içerisinde karar vereceğiz. Bize bir ışık tutmanızı istedik. Ama Adana Demirspor'umuzu sanki karanlığa gömdünüz gibi geliyor bana. Yine de destek olan herkese teşekkür ediyorum. Ve belki son kez. Herkese teşekkür ediyorum.
I'm asking the same question I asked before. How much do you like soccer?